Okay, so the next thing is setting up your nursery. If you can, I would advise you set up your nursery in week 1, so that by week 3, the plants are ready to transplant to the system. Since we are doing soilless farming, we have soil substitute that we would rather use for our nursery as opposed to use soil. So for some of you, what you got, like I said earlier, is a block like this. This is cocoa peat. For some of you, I sent you this. This is called rock wool. This is rock wool. If I sent you this, I would have sent you with 20 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 times 4. So what you will get is something small like this, 20 holes, because we are growing 20 plants, remember? Then we call this root plug. If this is what I sent to you, I should also have sent you 20. So I would explain the differences between them. If I sent you rock wool or root plug, the advantage you have is when it is time to transplant, you can carry this with the plants to the system. When we get there, we'll explain that. But you can practically take this as it is and put it on the system. No worries, no trouble. The same thing with this. You can practically carry it with the system, with the plant and put on the system we are going to build in the coming weeks. However, if this is what I sent to you, you will have to rinse the plant, this substrate out of the roots of the plant. That is the difference. But on the flip side, the advantage this has for people that are getting this, we are going to see how we are going to make this into a nursery. Though I sent you nobody got 20 seeds. Everybody, if you calculate the amount of seed I sent to you, should be at least 40, 50. This is more than enough to actually make nursery for about 200 seeds. Yes, 200 seeds, this is enough. So, if this is what you got, awesome. If you got the other ones, then I would have, because these ones are way, way more expensive. So I could not send more than the 20 that you are supposed to get normally. So first step, if you want to use this, if we want to use the rock wool, we have to soak it in water for a bit. So I have my water hose here. So I'm just going to soak it for a bit. So I will soak it for a bit. Once it is wet, it is good to go. The same applies to if I want to use the root plug. If I need to use the root plug, I need to soak them for a bit. You are wondering why the water is still rushing, because the root plug, it takes longer for them to absorb water. So you notice your rock wool took water very, very fast. They took in the water easily, no complaints, no hassle. So next thing is planting, obviously. Next thing is planting. So I'm trying to remove the excess water. So the advantage of using this again is because it can retain a bit of water, you don't need to water it every day. You don't need to water it every day. So you can see this is the normal flat cover. So you can, when you want to water the following, all you just need to do is pour little water here. The water will be absorbed and you are done for the day. So this is one. So let me put this somewhere. We'll come back for the planting. The rock wool is still trying to absorb. The root plugs rather are still trying to absorb. So imagine how long they've stayed inside water and they've not absorbed enough water yet, as compared to when we were using root plugs. Sorry, compared to when we were using rock wool. So I just want to put them inside a container that can make them stand upright easily. This is still not soaked, so we add more water. That's still not soaked. Once it is properly soaked, I'll remove the excess water. Then this is the last thing I sent for others. This is what some people got. So for this weighs actually 1.2 kilograms. For you to dissolve it completely, you need times 5 of its water weight. So if we assume 1.2 kilogram, or if we assume 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1 liter, so it means 1.2 kilogram is equivalent to 1.2 liters. So if you say 1.2 kilogram or 1.2 liter times 5, that gives us about 6 liters if I'm not wrong. So it means I need at least 6 liters of water to totally dissolve this. Now I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to take my time. I'm going to do this so you can watch it step by step. So we'll watch it step by step. Oh, this is cocoa peat. By cocoa peat, you know coconut that we eat in Nigeria. If you go to places like Calabar and all of that, you realize that coconut does not come the way we eat it in Lagos or Abuja. It comes inside a bigger pod. So when you break that pod open, you will see the coconut inside. But between the coconut and in the pericarp of the coconut, is it pericarp? And that's between, I think that's mesocarp, I'm not too sure, let me not use the wrong word. But when you remove it, before you get to the coconut, there are lots of fibers. So those fibers is what has been condensed together to form these cocoa peats. Now, what these three things have in common, later in the lecture we are going to still explain the characteristics of what you can use. What they all have in common is their pH is odd 7, neutral. They do not have a single nutrient inside of them. So it's not like, oh, they have their own nutrient that they are going to contribute to the plant. No, they have no nutrients. So you can remember that it was small when I brought it in here. Remember it was a small block I dropped in here. So let's stop putting water from now. Remember what I brought in here was small. Right now somebody is thinking, that water is too much. You'll be surprised. So, you can see. For you that don't probably want to use everything once, you can find and use a saw or something to cut and use something small first and store for later. That's perfectly fine, it won't spoil. But just remember, once water touches it, it begins to expand, and you don't want that to happen. You can see the inside, because you'll be thinking, it's not too much water we've poured. You can see the inside still looking very dry. And notice the whole water has been exhausted. So meaning I have to add more water. I'm doing this because I intend to finish all the cocoa peats. If not, normally I would want to save the remaining one instead of putting water on everything. So I want you to be able to see the volume of what this is going to give to you. That is why the video is on it and not on me. So that you not say, no, the jewelry is not the same thing. I want you to see how much volume this will give to you, and you can compare them to people that got rock wool. I'm sure some people are going to be calling me back and say they don't want rock wool anymore. That I should send them cocoa peat instead. For those that paid for seed, if you've not gotten your seed, please just let me know. I sent most of them yesterday. I will send the last batch on Monday for people that made payment before Saturday. Also people that made payment latest yesterday being Friday, which is on the 6th. People that made payment before on the 6th, you should get I should send the last batch tomorrow. You should send the last batch tomorrow. So once it is sent, usually I will send you a way bill. I will send you the way bill so that you can also track it yourself. You can track it yourself. Then, normally once it is delivered, either in their station, I'm using GIG for now, they will send you a text message. If you are in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, I think I should be able to do home delivery. You should be able to deliver to your house. or your office, whichever one you prefer. Whichever one it is you prefer. Okay. Everything has not dissolved. I've not I can still see some hard ones in between that water has not got into. So remember what we started with? We started with a block like this and see what we are getting. So you can imagine what this can give to you. We started with a small block like this, just a little block like this, and see what we got. Somebody say miraculous. And you will agree with me that this can do way more than what this will do for you. But the funny thing is, this is more expensive than this. Remember, I sent you all of these ones for free. For those that paid for seed, you get this for free. And in case somebody wants to ask, can I get a sample of all of them? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. As a matter of fact, I think for now my rock pool has almost finished. My rock pool has almost finished and the root plugs. So now this is ready. This is ready for my nursery. So I get the container. So you notice in this one, we didn't have to look for a special container. So whatever container you have access to, this is a regular plastic container. You don't need so much, it's just little. It's just little because it's a nursery. It's not where they are meant to stay to grow to maturity. Remember, it's just a nursery. It's just a nursery. And take note, I'm not pressing it to make it a mold. Just a nursery. It's just a nursery. So, whatever kind of container it is you have access to, you can use. So I'm also going to use disposable cups. These disposable cups are not the one listed in the material. This is based on what do you have access to do use for your nursery. Based on what do you have access to use for your nursery. So you're not like, so these don't want to use disposable cups to do. No. This is not where we added the disposable cups. We are using them because we need to do a nursery. So same thing. I'm doing 5, 5. I want to do 5 of these also. Another 5 of that. That's 5. This is your car freshener container. So I just want you to see you can use anything, but preferably if you can get something that is perforated, such that when you water with ordinary water, the excess water can drain out easily. That will be better. So I can also use sieve. So you can see, I'm sure you can realize that nursery is not that hard. So I can also use sieve. Obviously, if I'm using sieve, you can see the amount of cocoa peat I've poured here is way, way much. So that also means it's going to carry plenty seeds, whether it likes it or yes. Okay. So you can see how much I've already used. Ideally, for the purpose of nursery, we have nursery plates or nursery, for those that want to go extra mile. We have the nursery Oh boy. I'm sorry. This is taking too long to bring as well because carriages about. So we have nursery seeds, or trays rather. So when I was saying what I sent is really much, so you understand why I said it is really much. So you can also make it, and also have a nursery tray like this. So the nursery trays comes in various hole sizes. This has 200 holes, that means 200 seeds. So try to imagine how much of this will fill up one hole. Have you done that? Have you imagined that? So when I said this will produce, when I told us earlier that this block here, this is a smaller one. When I said this block can give you over 200 seeds, notice I was not joking. As a matter of fact, if you're using this kind of nursery tray, if I say 1,000, I don't think it's a lie. So you can see this block can do a whole lot depending on the nursery tray you are using. So all of these ones is actually too much for a seed. How much more what we have here? But for the purpose of, I know most of us don't have access to nursery tray. That is why I'm making you understand, since this is something that you do it yourself, you don't have to overspend yet. Until you've understood the system, then you can now start saying, okay, I want to go really, really big. I want to booger and show the world what I am doing. Okay. So, let's go to the planting. So I'm moving this out of the way. Like I said, when you get your own, I have already arranged the seeds inside envelopes. So we'll take one of the seeds. Let's start with romaine lettuce. So when you take your romaine lettuce, you open, the seeds are really extra tiny. I'm trying to clean my spoon. I'll bring it up for you to see. Still trying to bring them out. Okay. So I don't know, I'll count the seeds before I plant. Let me between styrofoam. So normally you do this in a place that is neat, so that your seeds don't get mixed up. So I want to use the top of the styrofoam. So the next thing is what I am planting here, very important. This is romaine lettuce. So, this marker is bad. Romaine lettuce 7/7/18. I want to know the day I planted it. So I take the container I want to use, label, but I am not going to be using all the seeds here. I also want to put some of the seeds here. So make a little hole. I think we said 5 times 4. Yeah. So let's put 4 here. Take a seed each. A seed each. a seed each, a seed each. So you are finished planting. So I come in here, create the holes. I want to use the whole of this for the lettuce. Remember, I'm putting so many because this nursery is really big. So let's cover those holes. I only need to ensure the nursery remains moist, that it doesn't get dried. As long as it remains moist, so I want to plant as many as I can here. And when planting, be careful to ensure that you don't use your own hand to remove your seed in the name of trying to close. Then, so let's also plant in, so remember this thing had excess water, so let's drain out the excess water. So if you notice the difference between this and this is all these ones already come with a hole. So I just want to target the hole. So in the hole. So I'm doing this for ease so that I will know everything that has to do with this carry romaine lettuce. So I am done planting. So you are going to do the same thing. Know what you planted where. Do the same thing for all the plants. All the plants. When I say all the plants, I mean everything you want to grow. Label, take the seed, the way I'm taking it step by step, do the same thing. And when you are done, another important thing is where you store this. You don't want to put them inside the sun. So you can keep them in a cool place. In a cool place. Like you are keeping them in a shade. So again, if you are doing your lettuce, if you have a dark cupboard in your kitchen or something, you can keep them there, but don't forget to put plants there. You can keep them in a cool, dark place. Remember to check every morning to be sure they are not dried out. This is a grow bag, but you can use your cupboard. This I am going to just keep in the ordinary room. I can mostly put this there. I think I have enough space for one more. And you will see them break dormancy first. If you don't have a cupboard, just keep them in a cool place. They should not be under the hot sun, so that the hot sun is not what kills them. So I hope you understood how to make your nursery. So the next thing for you to do is go on and build and take the next lecture, and let me get your feedback. Please don't forget Twitter handle, Instagram handle at Samson Prolific, then the Facebook and LinkedIn handle of Wally Samson. Let me hear your feedback. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great time practicalizing what we have just done.